This week on Inside Boulder News, the city celebrates 3 capital improvement bond projects, Boulder police offer tips to reduce the risk of child abduction, and a local nonprofit receives an award for innovation.
Welcome to Inside Boulder, featuring topics and stories that impact the community of Boulder, with Patrick von Kaiserling and Jennifer Bray. And on the news desk, Natalie Wood and Mike Benuelos bring you the stories making headlines in the community this week. Inside Boulder News starts now.
Welcome to Inside Boulder News. I'm Natalie Wood. The city is celebrating the work of 3 capital improvement bond projects. East Palo Park and Valmont City Park recently completed renovations thanks to funding from the voter-approved bond. CIP money is also funding enhancements at the Boulder Reservoir. City officials held a groundbreaking at the reservoir on Monday to start work on 2 years of planned improvements.
Ready? 1, 2, 3. I just want to thank the voters for their approval of the bond initiative back in 2011 in November. Out of that, Parks and Recreation received about $8.3 million for all of our infrastructure needs.
We're very excited to see some improvements out here. Nothing major has been done in about 30 years, so this is a very exciting time for us.
We have about $3 million that we'll be spending on the reservoir the next couple of years, with some enhancements relative to off-street improvements to try to deal with the traffic that we've got. We're going to move the entryway back about 500 feet. Will actually let us get more traffic off the road. We've got some infrastructure improvements coming next year related to water and sewer. The gatehouse is going to be improved, and then just a lot of aesthetic improvements with that $3 million that would really help give us a facelift out here at the reservoir, as well as deal with some of the infrastructure issues.
We've had a lot of feedback from the neighborhood wanting to see us be able to get traffic off the road faster. And this is one way that we are going to work towards that goal and become better neighbors with the neighborhood.
Watch for great things to come over the next couple of years out here at the Boulder Reservoir, and thanks again for your support.
You can find out more about the bond and track the progress of this project and others at bouldercolorado.gov/bond projects. The recent abduction of 10-year-old Jessica Ridgway in Westminster has prompted renewed concerns about child safety. There are precautions kids and parents can take to help prevent these tragic crimes. I spoke with Chief Mark Beckner of the Boulder Police Department about ways to reduce the risk of abduction.
Teach your child how to protect themselves and things to be aware of. First thing, can they walk to school with other kids? Are there friends in the area of the neighborhood so that they can walk in groups? Kids are always safer if they're in groups. Secondly is, does your kid know which route to take to school and to come home, and which is the safest? Walk with them, show them the routes to take, and show them safe havens along those routes. So if something should happen that makes your child uncomfortable, or they feel like they're in danger or they're scared, teach them where can they go for safety. What you want to do is teach your child to get away from the danger. Run, fight, scream. You know, if someone tries to grab your child, teach them to yell out. You know, you're not my mom, you're not my dad. Adults don't typically approach children and ask them for help. You know, adults that kids don't know. But the one thing that's important that's not talked a lot about is most kidnappings are committed by people that your child does know. It may be someone in the community or in the neighborhood that they've gotten to know, because a lot of effort goes into what they call grooming these kids to trust them. So you have to go beyond the typical things you hear about and teach your child to have that sixth sense, that gut feeling, and don't do things without asking mom and dad. Don't go with someone, even if you know the neighbor and they ask you to go to the store with them, make sure you ask mom and dad if it's okay.
And speaking of that gut feeling, we oftentimes hear to go with our gut on things if we encounter a strange situation. What advice do you have for kids when they feel something just isn't quite right?
You know, you should really play that up and talk to your children about, look, when you're in a situation and it doesn't feel right, listen to it. You don't have to be polite to strangers, and you don't have to do what a stranger tells you to do. You know, listen to yourself. Listen, remember what your parents have told you, and act in that manner.
Chief Beckner recommends visiting the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children's website at missingkids.com for more valuable information. Fees on disposable bags in all food retailers in Boulder moved one step closer to reality this week, but the fee is likely to be lower than what staff had recommended. City Council voted 5-3 to cut the proposed fee in half, making it 10 cents a bag instead of 20 cents. Money raised from the fee would be used to educate the public about the environmental problems posed by disposable bags, as well as the city's ordinance. It would also be used to provide bags to low-income populations.
We do have to go back and reevaluate, the budget of where that money will be spent, but there still will be a strong priority in getting bags out to the community, including especially the low-income populations, so that they don't feel a disproportionate effect of the ordinance.
Because of the reduction in the proposed fee, Council will need to consider the ordinance at a third reading on November 1st. If approved, the 10-cent bag fee would go into effect in July. Gardening season may be over, but an innovative gardening program recently gained some recognition. The Boulder County Business Report awarded this year's Innovation Quotient Award to the Center for Resource Conservation for its Garden in a Box program. The nonprofit, Boulder-based company provides pre-planned water-saving gardens to residents at a low cost. The program quickly blossomed in our community.
It's a low-water xeric garden that is professionally designed. It's a plant-by-number garden that fits into typically 100 square feet, the way we design it. And it saves about 50% of the water in the landscape once it's established.
Really tried to remove the barriers to make it as easy as possible for someone to plant a water efficient garden. We found that people are interested in the concept of water efficient gardening, but they don't necessarily know how to do it. So with this program, we tried to make it very easy with the plant by number design, with planting and care instructions, and having all the plants selected and designed by a local designer.
Visit conservationcenter.org for more information on the award-winning program. Thanks for watching Inside Boulder News. Stay in touch with us on Facebook by submitting news tips and questions. Just search for City of Boulder Channel 8. More Inside Boulder is next.